Thank y'all for coming tonight. I hope everybody had a good holiday season. Please silence your cell phones if you can now to make sure that we don't have an interruption. I'm going to ask Councilman Jones if he would lead us in the invocation, and then Councilman Tipton to lead us into the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we come again with thanksgiving. We thank you for this 2019, a new year that we are facing. We realize there are going to be obstacles, hurdles, red lights, stop signs, a few bumps in the road, but you are our director. You are our guide. We pray for your guidance and your direction. It's in Jesus' name. We thank you tonight. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. All right, next is amendments to the agenda from either council or administration. Is there any amendments?
I would like to remove 7G for discussion from the consent agenda.
7G.
If you would, we can put that underneath my items.
Okay.
Under yours, it's 7. Let's see, 7G under yours.
So that'll be
8A.
8A.
correct.
Eight A.
Yes. Here, Steve.
Here, I got,
I've got an extra one.
just everybody got pen.
Whichever.
Anybody else? Any further amendments?
I have one. I need to remove from executive session location, relocation, or expansion of a business, medical service, or industry.
Mr. Mayor, for what it's worth, I'd like to also remove 7F from the consent agenda, the resolution approving a second draw for the tax anticipation note. No issues, just have some questions.
Sure. So will you want to move it,
Let's put that under 9B, which would be Frank's items.
Yeah.
good.
And that's 7F.
7F? Yep. Okay. Anybody else? All right, is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, is there anyone here to address the council that's not on the agenda? If you are, please come sign in. Mayor's Youth Council. All right, semi-annual report. So first up tonight, we had that mid-year report. Y'all want to come up, please? Please tell me your name and what school you're with.
Hi, I'm Lauren Hand. I'm from Pascagoula High School. I'm the council of clerk.
Good to have y'all all come up.
I'm Will Baumhauer. I'm from Resurrection. I'm the mayor.
Sam Williams, I go to Resurrection.
I'm Addie Torgerson, I go to PHS.
I'm Laura Grace Warren, I go to Resurrection.
I'm Austin Marvin, and I go to RCS.
Good deal. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Go ahead.
So first we have the officers going from left to right in the picture. City manager is Laura Grace. Sergeant of Arms is Austin. Mayor is Will. Clerk me, Lauren, and Vice Mayor is Jameson Cook, which could not be here today. Now we have leadership and team building. We went to an MML conference at the beginning of the year, and this really taught us leadership skills. Like we had to build a bench together to try to work together and communicate very well. And we actually ended up on WLOX News from one of the Mayor's Youth Council places. And for MGCCC team building, we did zip lining, and this was our first activity as a group, and we got to know each other a lot better.
That was a lot. I was out there. That was a big deal, wasn't it? That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. For volunteering, we helped work Cruising the Coast, Battle on Buffett Beach, and downtown for the holidays. We helped move traffic along for Cruising the Coast with all the cars. We passed out medals and water for Buffett Beach, and we were some of Santa's elves for downtown. And extra activities included movie nights for the public and Hope House. Movie nights help raise money while also providing fun for Pascagoula and giving people more opportunities to go out. And the council worked Hope House a few times to help those who need it and show support for our community as a whole. And for meetings and socials, meetings have consisted of recognition of academic achievements, discussing important ideas and issues of Pascagoula, and planning important trips to take. For example, we took a trip down to different facilities of Pascagoula, and we also had 2 different socials. One was kind of to get to know each other, and the other was actually preparing toiletry items for those who needed them. And we also, yeah, that's all.
Well, good job, you guys, and thank you for all that you've done for the city, especially on those events, because I was down there, I watched y'all. Y'all did a good job.
Thank you.
Everybody good? Enjoyed it? Good. We hope that you continue to serve in your capacities or something great. Taylor, I want to say thank you. If you would, stand up so everybody can see you, if you would. Taylor's been handling these guys, and she enjoys it, so you guys love Taylor too, huh?
Definitely.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you all so much for coming in tonight. We appreciate you. Come back to each council meeting as you can, and keep up with what we're doing for the city.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right, now we've got the business spotlight tonight. We're going to highlight our senior center this evening. January is renewal month, so we want to make sure that everyone knew about this great place and all that it offers. We have a video on that too, don't we?
We start the new year off with a non-traditional business spotlight. Yes, that's it, our beautiful Pascagoula Senior Center, a real asset in our community, and it is membership driven. Come by for a computer class or to go to our gym, enjoy our game room, and most importantly, spend time with other seniors from the community as they learn pickleball and keep their New Year's resolution promises to get and stay active, like our line dancers. You can also enjoy other programs such as pottery and our famous studio, where the beautiful work of our potters is on sale year-round in the Pascagoula Senior Center gift shop, and you want to pick up something special for someone. Our seniors are an active bunch, and they have a good time, whether it's mingling with our local military for the Tuesday covered dish lunch or enjoying seminars and guest speakers. And it's a perfect location if you want to rent the Live Oak Room for a reception, a reunion, or your organization's class. Come by the Pascagoula Senior Center and learn more today.
Oh, good job. Got a lot to offer there at the Senior Center. If you get a chance, run by there, check it out, look and see what all they have to offer. It's really an awesome place, and you'll get to see some familiar faces there all the time and enjoy participating in their activities. Next, we move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve this agenda? As amended.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Real quick question, Mr. Mayor, of Mr. Porter. Frank, I was a little concerned to read for the Recreation Commission that they had 2 meetings at which they failed to have a quorum. Is there an explanation for that, or?
I've actually asked for their attendance records to be presented to you guys to consider whether or not y'all would like to consider replacement of those officials or not.
Please do, yeah.
Okay.
This is a great idea.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next is city manager.
All right. Mr. Tipton, this is the item that you removed. I guess it was originally 7G, which is a resolution approving Overstreet and Associates Task Order Number 1. Sorry, let me speak into this. Task Order Number 1 for services regarding Eagles Avenue Improvements Project.
Yeah, well, I had a couple of questions. The first was, I wasn't familiar with the Overstreet and Associates. Are they on our approved list?
They are.
People to give task orders?
They are.
Okay.
They're one of the 6.
And the other one was, I had noticed that the said that for replacement of storm drain, sanitary sewer, water, and gas infrastructure. Surely we're not engineering any gas
Well,
at this point.
this resolution or this task order was submitted prior to the actual signing of the gas documents, but yes, it will be revised.
Okay, so the dollar amount should go down? There's no
Well-
gas engineering?
Well, no, what you're looking at with this 150 is that that's a meeting that myself and Mr. Quarter had with, why am I drawing a blank? Oh, Mr. Fulton from the county, which sprung from a number of other meetings in regards to certain monies that supervisors had
Right.
for this next fiscal year. And once we talked through certain projects, it was Mr. Fulton's recommendation, given the fact that we have received the $2 million in the supplemental legislation, as well as submitting an application for the KCDBG, that the best use of that $150,000 would be to go towards this particular thing, would be the engineering.
Okay. So
And
we're paying them 150 no matter how much work they do?
no, it'll be up to 150.
Up to 150.
Right, and just because I feel remiss if I didn't say this, because I'm the one that pulled it last time, the reason that it's our recommendation to award this to Overstreet and Associates is because, I don't want to say instrumental, but they have been extremely helpful with helping us through this KCDBG application process. And I actually spoke with two of our other firms today and explained that to them, and that if this all gets approved the way that we want, Compton being one of them, that we foresee them being a part of this. So, and they agreed, had they performed that same type of work, that it would only be fair for them to be the, what's the word I'm looking for, like the project manager, but that our other firms would be part of it.
And this would be part of the $2 million of the KDBG money?
This would be, actually come from
Supervisor.
Board of Supervisors.
Yeah, so, okay. So
Would
no
be
matching-
in
no
addition
matching
to-
fund for the city?
No,
Okay.
no, sir.
No, that's all I need. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the task order number 1.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next one.
Next up for your consideration is a resolution to rename Pascagoula Public Beach. As you know, you were requested to consider this by some residents at a previous meeting. This resolution has been prepared in the idea that you would consider that. It's up to the council whether you will or not will not take this up at this time. However, it is here for your discussion.
One of the things when, I remember it was Alton Van and I think Steve Mitchell.
Terry Davis.
Terry Davis were here last time. One of the things that I asked for was, the people that might have opposed the renaming in the last council, I don't know how much of an opportunity they were given to present their views, and I certainly wanted people to have an opportunity who felt like the beach should keep its name,
Sure.
Buffett Beach, to have that opportunity too. What have we done to publicize or make it known that this would be coming up before the council tonight?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
And the reason was, we wanted to bring it to you if you wanted to act on it or not, and then give you the opportunity to set if you wanted to have those public hearings for that.
I think this is an issue that everybody ought to have an opinion on, and certainly, I be quite frank with you, I almost don't care. That's not that I say I don't, but it's just with all the other things that we've had going on, I feel like, the priority here may not be as much as for other things, but I certainly think that everybody ought to have an opportunity to at least know what's going on and have an opportunity to say something.
Sure.
So,
And the only thing pressing as far as timeline would be that the session starts next Tuesday on the 8th. So you have until mid-February, end of February, as far as local and private bills go, to have this heard. So I would say if you want to have this brought up for a public discussion or input, if you will, session to address the council, you do it at least by the first meeting of February.
my motion will be that we table this resolution until the second meeting in January, and if, there's a public outcry one way or another for additional time, I think that's certainly fine. But, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we table the resolution to rename, Buffett Beach back to Pascagoula Beach until the next meeting or the second meeting in January.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yes, are we going to do anything to solicit opinions?
That was my next question after y'all voted, because I was going to ask you, what would you prefer us to do? Would you like us to go ahead and ask for, address the council time at the 1:15 meeting on this item, or how would you want to handle that?
You can put it on social media and like we did what did we do that on, the logo? Do that, get the input on them and tell them to come up here and talk to us.
And I certainly would, I would suggest, and you can do it for me, I don't want to volunteer any other council person, but I mean, if you want to tell people what my phone number is, what my email address is, I'm more than happy for that too. I mean, just so that they can contact council members, and, you know, one way or another, let us know what they think, if they have an opinion.
We'll draft a release that Ms. Smith will, basically, that says, contact your council person, and if you're interested in this issue, to appear at the 1:15 meeting. That work?
As long as they I mean, even if they went to social media and just let their opinion known, and we have a record of that.
I will tell you this, Mr. Burrow, after that meeting, we have not received any additional items of support. I know that there was a reference to Mr. Van and Mr. Davis that we would may be receiving additional names. I'm going to chalk that up to it being probably the holiday season and other priorities, but I will follow up with them as well.
Well, didn't they have a petition?
Well, there's a number of names that signed up for it, of course, but I don't know if I'd classify it as a petition. But, you know, I didn't receive any, or we did not receive anything in opposition, but we will clarify that.
Please, in Facebook world, engage in your public, in your city's business. We need to know how you feel. You just got to tell us. All right, next, we got a motion, second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passed to table.
Well, the next step would be 9B, that Mr. Burrow pulled from consent.
I just had a few questions about that. The tax anticipation note, again, just sort of for public consumption, that was
Yes.
the note that we did, I think, 2, maybe even 3 meetings ago,
That's correct.
for $4.5 million. That's correct. That's the note that
It was for 6 point.
It could be.
Up to six.
Up to 6, okay, I stand corrected. Up to 6, and provided that draws are approved each time by the council.
That's correct.
Okay. And the draws that we're talking about, or this particular draw, the second one will be for how much?
1.75.
And that will be used to cover just general
General
operating expenses?
Yes.
Okay. Do you, at this point, anticipate that any additional draws will be necessary?
The comptroller and I spoke this afternoon, and she is hopeful not to have to request any more prior to getting the taxes in mid-February. However, if, depending on, as we've held a lot of the expenses through the first quarter, as we should, until we get taxes coming in. But with the release of, like, for example, Mr. Scruggs and getting property cleaned up and houses being demolished, there are additional expenses coming forward. So we're hopeful that we don't have to come back to you prior to the taxes being collected in mid-February to March.
And my apologies, remind me again, what was the amount of the first draw?
1.75.
Okay.
Well, and also, this is by statute, it's required to be repaid by March.
March 15th.
15th.
Yes.
I mean, this is what you get. It's basically what it says, that is tax anticipation. You get it in anticipation of taxes. This is not any additional money. It's just until your taxes roll in January, February, March.
I think at the time I likened it almost to a line of credit,
Yeah.
a short-term
Yes.
line
Yeah.
of credit
That's
that
correct.
we're gonna have to pay back.
That's fair.
Right. So hopefully, knock on wood, cross our fingers, the balance will be $3.5 million.
That's correct.
And that will be paid sometime, hopefully in February or no later than March.
That's correct.
Once we begin getting ad valorem tax receipts.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the second draw for $1.75 million from the city's tax anticipation note.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next we move to the claims docket. So, is there a motion to approve the claims docket?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, mayor council items. Is there anything added additionally? Okay, is anyone signed up? No sign up? All right, thank you guys for coming tonight. We appreciate your attention and hope you guys have a happy new year. I'm gonna entertain a motion, to go into closed session to consider the need for executive session. Got it? Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, and if you choose to stay around, we've got some discussions over an executive session to do, and we'll be out shortly.